Hey, pedal people, it's Pedal Guy here. How you doing? Do you want to build your own pedal board but you don't know where to start? Well, stay tuned because in the next few minutes I'm going to cover that and we're going to get started right now. Well, hey, it's Scott the Pedal Guy here. How you doing? Well, we're all about pedal demos, pedal knowledge, and pedal sales. I love pedals, and so do you. Now, before we get started, if this is your first visit to our channel, make sure you take a second and click on that subscribe button down there and ring that bell so you can stay up to date with all of our videos. And if you're watching this on Facebook or Instagram, be sure to like and follow us so you can stay up to date with all of our activities because we do post daily and we'd love to hear from you. Well, one of the questions that I'm asked a lot is where do I start when I want to build my own pedal board? What kind of board should I look at? The material of the board, what kind of power supply, cables, pedals, configuration, blah, 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 blah. And so I thought this would be a good opportunity to create a multi-part series on how to build your own pedal board from start to finish. And in this video, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about the actual board itself. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to ask you is a very important question, so I want you to pay attention. Are you paying attention? Okay, good. What is your budget? Think about that for a second. Okay, you don't have to answer it, obviously, because I can't hear you anyway. But my point here is, what is your budget? What do you want to spend on this pedal board? Because here's the thing. I don't want to BS you and say, okay, well, you can spend $60 and buy a pedal board. Yeah, that's true. You could buy a pedal board, but what about the cables? What about the power supply? What about all the other things you need, right? What about the reliability factor that's going to allow you to make that pedal board transportable from point A to point B over and over and over and over and over and over and over? My point is, make sure that you put together a realistic budget. Now, will $60 get you there? Probably not. Will $100 get you there? Possibly. But I would say you want to start thinking about $150 as kind of a starting point here. And I'm going to tell you why in a second, because we're going to go over the parameters of the board itself, because I want you to think about the board first. Then we'll worry about the bells and whistles after that, because a lot of that stuff can be upgraded over time, so you don't have to go for the top tier on everything. Now that we've had the budget talk, let's talk about two more things that you need to think about. So I have to ask you two more questions. And just know it comes from a good place. I'm asking the questions because I want you to be happy with the results you get. Okay? And that first question is, what do you want the board made out of? Do you want it made out of plastic? Do you want it made out of wood? Do you want it made out of metal? That's up to you. The other question is, how many pedals do you intend to use on your board? So to answer this question, let's bring in our sidebar. Come on, let's bring the sidebar in. Bring it in, bring it in. Very good. Okay, good. Okay, so let's have a quick serious dialogue about this. Now, if you only have 5 pedals, do you want to build a board that only holds 5 pedals? I would say that's not a good idea. I would say the best idea would be to build a board that you can grow with. So build a board that has a little extra space on it for a few extra pedals. So now let's talk about the 3 types of materials that you can use for your board. Now, the first one is plastic. Now, I am not a fan of plastic personally myself. I find plastic to be a little too fragile, and it's not really my thing. However, that doesn't mean that it applies to you. You could be, in love with a good composite plastic board, and I'm not going to stop you. Boss makes one that's got some plastic built into it. Obviously, Behringer's got some stuff like that. There's some good budget boards out there that are primarily made of plastic and may serve you well. Personally, though, I choose one of two. I choose metal or I choose wood. And fortunately, I brought 2 really fine examples with me. The first board we're going to check out is the Rockboard from Warwick. This is the Duo 2.0. It's lightweight sheet metal. It's very durable. It comes with its own carrying case. It comes with zip ties. It comes with Velcro. Let's take a closer look at it. Okay, so looking at the board itself, a couple things you'll notice right off the bat. There's a nice angle to it. It's very subtle. It's not over the top. Looking at the bottom here, you can see that you've got some cable management going on down here in the bottom. It's got plenty of rubber feet, so it won't slide on the stage. It even has a port here on the side that you can use for power or for audio jacks if you want to. As I said before, this is on the small side. This is like their beginner board. So if I put my 2 hands together, you can see that it's not that big. So you could probably fit 1, 2, 3, say Boss size pedals on here without too much trouble. Or you could fit a whole bunch of little mini pedals if you wanted to. So you can make like a strong mini pedal board. But this would be like ideal for, say, quick transportation, for jamming with your friends, that kind of idea. Now, the other thing I mentioned before too is that it does come with zip ties. It comes with Velcro, and it does come with other paraphernalia in there as well. And you do get a carrying case, and you get the carrying case, and you do get all of that for under $70. So it's a pretty good deal for what it is. But that's one choice you could go with. And the good news is they have it all the way up to a very large size, so it's modular. And by the way, that's another word I failed to hone in on a little bit more here, is modular. A lot of the upper tier boards, you can actually take the back off. There's actually space on the back where you can remove and then put your own ports in there. And that is some pretty cool stuff. But that's way further down the road. If this is your first board, you don't need to go that far, but that's something to keep in mind. So in addition to the Rockboard, we also carry Nuix Bumblebee pedal boards, and those pedal boards are pretty awesome too because they're modular and you can make all sorts of different changes. Plus they're multi-tiered too, so that's very handy. Now the next board I'm going to show you is the Ruach series. Now these are from Northern Ireland. They're hand-built hardwood pedal boards. They come in a series of different sizes and colors and finishes. They're beautiful boards, and let's take a look at it. Now, obviously, these are a little more upper tier than, say, a $70 Rockboard pedal, but they have pedal boards that are well under $100, all the way up to around $300, and they make a bunch of different finishes, as I mentioned before, and they all include zip ties, they all include Velcro, and they all include a carrying case, so it's very handy indeed. Let's go to the top down. Here we are. Okay, so to give you kind of a close-up view of what those boards look like, these things are sexy. And the way I look at it is this way. Yes, it is upper tier, right? But let's say you have great pedals, okay? You have a great guitar collection. Why not make your pedal board look good too, right? So in any case, a couple of extra features here to note. You have what looks like carrying handles on the sides of the board. These are actually for adapters that you can install where you can put in solderless jacks. And those are on both sides. Now you also have a power supply hole already pre-drilled, so you can buy yourself an ICE power supply and make it work. And as far as like underneath, there's plenty of space to install your own power supply. And we'll talk about that more in the coming weeks. But to give you an idea of how many pedals you can pop onto one of these things, this is a 2.5 size, by the way. There's a mini pedal. There's the Morningstar by Nuix, and there's the dark side from Keeley. And that's a full-on pedal as far as the size goes, and there's the Morningstar. Now, you've seen me use these in a lot of videos, or this board in a lot of videos over the last few years. And so this is just to give you an idea of how many pedals you could actually fit on there. There's a lot of space here, so just keep that in mind. 2.5 is probably going to be more than enough for most people, but there are 3 and 4 sizes as well. But in any case, that is Ruach. By the way, it's pronounced Ruach, which means spirit in Gaelic. So it's a really good board. You should check them out. All right, so that wraps up this first episode of our series on how to build your first pedal board. I hope you found this information useful. If you have questions, just let us know right in the comment section below. If you're watching this on Facebook or Instagram, there's places for you to do that as well. But we're going to dig into, next time, we're going to dig into a really exciting subject. Power supplies. Okay, it's not really that exciting of a subject, but we're going to do it anyway because there are so many options. Anyway, that's our first video, so I hope you enjoyed it. Well, thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any further questions, be sure to visit us at thepedalguide.com. But in the meantime, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and also be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for weekly videos and tutorials. Thanks for stopping by here at thepedalguide.com, where I love pedals and so do you.